Whoa! Hey, what are you doing here? Well, you're just in time. We are doing an episode today about physical activity and arthritis, as well as how OT fits into the mix. During this video, we are going to talk about important things to know and do before we exercise, and different types of exercise, as well as how OT fits into the mix. So in our last 3 videos, as a quick reminder, I'm sure you've already watched them, but if you haven't or you want a refresher, they are up, and we talk about what is occupational therapy, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, as well as the impacts to activities of daily living and instrumental activities of daily living. So check those out, and when you're ready, let's go.
Hey Lacey,
How does arthritis impact physical ability?
Arthritis impacts physical activity as pain is one of the main obstacles to increasing physical activity. This leads to a sedentary lifestyle, and as a result, only 36.2% of people with arthritis report being physically active. It is also found that a decrease in power and strength lead to a decrease in functional abilities and performance. People with osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis have expressed concerns that increasing physical activity could actually cause a detrimental effect on joints. But studies have proven that it actually decreases pain, improves mood and quality of life, as well as functional performance. Additionally, being physically active can actually delay or decrease arthritis symptoms and help treat and manage other chronic conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and even obesity. This is done by targeting increases in strength, coordination, and balance, as well as other aspects that help to decrease the risk of falls. Adults with arthritis benefit or have the most optimal health benefits from a diverse physical activity routine. This includes activities such as aerobic activities, which increase the heart rate and the oxygen intake, as well as muscle strengthening and balance. Today specifically, we are going to be talking about walking, swimming or aquatic therapy, biking or cycling, muscle strengthening, isometric contractions, yoga, and Tai Chi. Walking. It is one of the easiest, most cost-effective, low-impact ways to start your physical activity journey. This is because you can easily do it. You don't need any additional equipment, and it can easily be tailored to your physical activity needs. This could include changing the distance, changing how fast or the intensity of your walk speed, and it can be done with family, friends, pets, and so much more. And finally, there is a Walking with Ease program that the Arthritis Foundation has created with arthritis adults in mind. This is a self-guided or leader-guided program that is low cost and takes into account the steps and guidelines that are needed for starting your physical activity journey through walking. So while there are multiple options for swimming or aquatic activity, this can include swimming, such as doing laps or even aquatic workout classes, that include aerobic and resistance training. This is a desired activity as the water slightly suspends the body, which offloads joints, making it easier and less painful to move and exercise through the full range of motion. Aquatic physical activity has been proven to significantly improve disease activity and functional capacity, especially for women with rheumatoid arthritis. Cycling has been found to be beneficial in decreasing pain and stiffness, while increasing quality of life when paired with other physical activities and occupations. There are 3 common different ways to cycle. This includes using a recumbent, a stationary bike, or a regular upright bike. If balance is an issue, then one might consider using a stationary or a recumbent bike as it provides more support and you need less balance. Recumbent bikes are good for beginners as it provides more back support and you're in a more laid back position versus an upright or a stationary bike, as they provide more support to the client as they're starting their cycling journey. So this is our stationary bike. As you can see, it provides less support on the back, but you're still being supported and not having to use as much balance on a freestanding upright bike. Strengthening activities are important for maintaining and increasing bone and muscle mass. These are important for continuing mobility as well as fall prevention. Isometric contractions or exercises are when you are having the muscles contract without moving the joint through a range of motion. For yoga specifically, it incorporates many aspects such as strengthening, balance, and postural control. Additionally, it utilizes isometric contractions when holding poses and contains movement that goes through all range of motion and has been found to be very beneficial. For Tai Chi, it has shown to enhance balance, strength, flexibility, and self-efficacy or confidence, as well as reducing pain, depressive symptoms, and anxiety in a diverse patient populations with chronic conditions, as it uses gentle movement to go through all ranges of movement. Finally, both of these can be modified based on activity level as well as pain level. Actually, physical activity falls under the health management occupation group. This occupation group includes activities that are aimed to maintain, increase, develop, and manage your health and wellness routines, as well as self-management and improving or maintaining your physical health. Other occupations in this group include social and emotional health management, communicating with healthcare staff or professionals, nutrition and medication management, as well as managing equipment needed to improve your life for health reasons. This could include a glucometer, hearing aids, glasses, or even adaptive equipment needed to improve your quality of life and functionality. Therefore, completing exercise is more meaningful when done with family or friends, but you can do it by yourself and still have positive effects, both mentally and physically, from this exercise, as it has been proven that physical activity increases well-being. So now that we've talked about the OT connection and basics, let's talk about the important things that we need to do and know before we start. First of all, you should have PCP clearance to make sure that you are good to start increasing your physical activity, and make sure that you can have some guidelines on what kinds of activity as well as how long you do activity. The CDC recommendations are 150 minutes per week, or at least 2 times a week for physical activity. Initially, that can be very tough to meet. So it's important to start low and start slow with your physical activity. It's important to know that exercise and the amount and the time that you do exercise can fluctuate just as your health fluctuates. So it's important to recognize when there's a flare-up or more pain that is present than usual. On these days, we should modify our exercise to try to move, but with the least amount of discomfort or pain. It is not uncommon for pain, swelling, and stiffness to initially increase when you start physical activity. A way to track this would be using the Arthritis Foundation's VIM app, VIM app, that is a pain app where you can journal how you're feeling, what your symptoms are, and to track during physical activity how much pain or stiffness or swelling that you're experiencing. This typically will reduce over time as your body adjusts to the increased physical activity. After you've got the okay to start physical activity, it is important to follow the guidelines that are either provided by your PCP, the OT or PT, or other referred professionals, so that way you can remain safe while increasing your physical activity and also avoiding injuries. So now that we've talked about important things to do before you start physical activity, let's talk about signs that physical activity or an exercise may be too much for your body. This includes having an increase in pain and fatigue, either during the physical activity or after. So if it's significantly impacting those factors, probably too much. Another sign is if after 2 hours after completing the exercise, there's an increase in pain and a decrease in function following the completion. Additionally, if you are unable to carry on a conversation during physical activity or become breathless, then the intensity might be too much. If your heart rate is extremely elevated or racing during a physical activity and that is not your goal, then the activity may be too much and you'll need to back off and take rest. It's important as well to make sure and rest after you complete physical activity to give your body time to recover and heal before the next movement period. Hey, whoa, what are you doing here? Whew. Physical activity is hard, but it's so worth it. As they say, motion is lotion for joints. And during this video, we talked about a lot of different types of physical activities, as well as important things to do before you start, and how OT fits into the mix and supports this occupation. I hope that you learned something. Maybe you'll get a little breathless like I am right now. Remember, if you decide to increase your physical activity, that you get clearance from your PCP or your primary care provider to make sure that you're okay to do that, as well as receiving guidelines and recommendations on types of physical activity to do and how long to do it from your PCP or other referred professionals such as a PT or an OT. Remember, in the next video, we are talking about joint protection and arthritis. So we'll look into that more, but until then, see ya.